This is Michael T. McLoughlin. Welcome to this video record of our recent company presentation, Funding an Economic Proposal for a Pre-CLE Course to Help Law Schools Improve Their Bar Exam Pass Rates. This video is for people who were not able to attend the presentation or want a quick reminder of what was covered. You may pause the video at will if you need longer to review the individual slides. New ABA Accreditation Standard 316 was adopted in 2019. It requires ABA-accredited schools maintain a 75% bar pass rate for each graduating class within a 2-year period. Half of California's ABA-accredited law schools have California exam pass rates below the 75% benchmark based on recent statistics from the state bar, and bar pass rates have generally been falling across the nation. Here is the standard itself. At least 75% of a law school's graduates in a calendar year who sat for a bar examination must have passed a bar examination administered within 2 years of their date of graduation. California presents the additional problem that it has the lowest average bar pass rates in the nation. As many as half of California's ABA-accredited law schools are potentially at risk of noncompliance. To date, only one California law school has been warned it is falling short of the 75% threshold. The proposed solution is a pre-CLE course to serve as adjunct to the primary legal education program of law schools at risk of noncompliance, customized to remedy bar-related weaknesses of graduating and recently graduated students. There are 2 California bar exams. We are concerned only with the general bar exam, which has 3 components divided over 2 days, 5 one-hour essay questions and 1 60-minute performance test on the first day, and the multiple-choice multi-state bar examination, or MBE, on the second day. Students may have difficulty with one or more of the bar exam sections. Diagnostic testing will evaluate individual strengths and weaknesses to focus the course according to the needs of individual students. The written portion counts 50% of the final score and is scaled to the MBE mean score. A higher MBE mean thus elevates the written mean. California calculates its own mean for the MBE. It is our policy to use the learning management system and other infrastructure of the client law school so that students do not have the stress of learning a new system for our course. Table A identifies by category those costs we expect the client institution to bear. Table B notes and estimates costs we expect to bear, which thus form an essential component of our fee. Rather than read the contents of the tables, which appear over the next 3 slides, you are invited to pause the video so that you can read the tables at your leisure. Analysis of these 4 economic factors is useful to ensure there is a tangible benefit to our course, notwithstanding the balance of the benefit realized, as with any form of education, is more qualitative than quantitative. Human capital, value chain analysis, return on investment, and cost-benefit analysis. Critics of human capital theory often elicit a key problem in its vocabulary is the de facto treatment of human beings as a type of livestock. Thus, it is very important to remember the capital is not the human beings themselves, but the collective skills, knowledge, and other attributes they possess. The more well-educated people are, the more economically productive they are. Entering the legal profession requires a licensing exam that measures how one thinks, not what one knows. Due to massive K-12 funding cuts due to Proposition 13, in 1978, and subsequent incompetence in replacing lost funding, California law students increasingly lack the elementary written communication and critical thinking skills they need to pass the bar exam. As with other measures that are quantitative, it generally is not possible to use a value chain analysis to assess values that are qualitative and cannot be expressed in financially related terms. The value chain for this e-learning course has these 6 elements. 1. Review of data from the client to focus job parameters, avoid duplication of effort, and direct our primary efforts to where the need is greatest. 2. Diagnostic evaluation of participating students to ascertain their strengths and weaknesses in critical thinking and communication skills needed to pass the bar exam. 3. Tailoring of materials and pedagogy to the determined needs of participating students and recent graduates. 4. Actual delivery of a course, instruction, testing, review, reorient, retune, repeat. The focus is on the needs of the individual students, not just the overall collective, which is a contrast to pedagogy in primary legal education. 5. Quality Assurance Part 1. A course exit questionnaire to find out how confident students are about the exam, whether they feel prepared for it, etc. And 6. Quality Assurance Part 2. Review the results of bar exam on release. Ascertain from client and own projections whether targets were met, if not, why not, and how processes could be improved for the next course. Return on investment, or ROI, is difficult to calculate in an educational context because it is quantitative, while much of the actual return on any educational investment can be purely qualitative. This limits its usefulness to financial aspects of distance education and e-learning. Cost-benefit analysis. Again, as with return on investment calculation, many of the benefits of education to society as a whole as well as to the individual are intangible, so cannot be balanced to costs quantitatively. They must be measured non-discursively. If all goes well, the immediate return on investment will be that the client law school increase its per-class bar pass rate to meet or exceed the requirements of Standard 316. Cost-benefit analysis necessarily will compare our pre-course historic outcomes with post-mortem outcomes, before and after pass rates as it were, to ascertain the degree to which the costs are merited by benefit of those outcomes. From our perspective, a cost-effective analysis, or CEA ratio, might be actual costs divided by the difference between projected and actual outcomes, to the extent a figure can be calculated accurately. From our client's perspective, the CEA ratio will be determined by dividing the fees for our services and other costs by the law school's net increase in bar pass rate. Comparing CEA ratios over a period of years will tell our client whether their efforts to increase their bar pass rates are steadily improving, steadily declining, or staying the same. Finally, here are 2 reflections on possible modifications to the proposed course. California is one of 3 states with its own accreditation regime for law schools. About half the law schools accredited by the State Bar Committee of Bar Examiners also are ABA accredited and are presumed to comply with CBE standards. Thus, a law school that loses its ABA accreditation loses its presumption of CBE compliance. Some law schools may find it helpful to integrate bar preparation into their primary program as a set of 0-credit courses. Their appearance on transcripts will provide incentive without risk of punishment because they will not affect the grade point average. That concludes this video reminder presentation.